manufacturer of the phone manufactured a phone and put it in a box. Having put it in the box, that is packaging, and they put another paper there called a manual that accompanies the phone. This manual explains on how to use the phone. There is one important instruction that is there. They say, before you use this phone, read me. When you begin to read, the phone says, in case of fault on the phone, do not give it to another dealer for repair, except one who is satisfied by Apple, one who is satisfied by Nokia. Here comes the problem. You were created by the creator, the manufacturer of human beings. He having manufactured you. It is most unfortunate that for your health, you go to an unsatisfied dealer. It is most unfortunate that for your governance, you go to an unsatisfied dealer. It is most unfortunate that for your spirituality, you go to the unsatisfied dealer. Thank you very much for watching this. If it is helpful for you, don't forget to share, subscribe, like. Let's have a conversation. Let me hear what you are thinking. Comment in the section below, and together let's build the country that we need. Hello and welcome back to Infinite Health, where we talk about everything, the health of everything, the health of your government, your politics, your health system, the health of your education system, the health of your religious system. We are discussing today about why God's kingdom government is the best form of government that every human being is looking for. So let's get into it. I want to quote from one of my best inspirations than ever. His name is Dr. Miles Monroe from the Bahamas. He said, an idea is more powerful than a mighty army. If you see wars or if you see countries fighting against other countries, there is an advancement of a particular idea. So the reason we have tensions is because there is some disagreement on particular ideas, and by the end of the day we have countries fighting against other countries, or we have some internal fightings within countries. This clearly shows to us that an idea is more powerful than an army. Why am I saying this point? Where is it valid in this subject that we are talking about today? When we look at the governments that we have today under the sun, they are nothing but ideas. If you think of democracy, if you think of authoritarian rules, if you think of dictatorship governments, if you think of Republican governments, if you think of any other the demigods governments, all of them are nothing but ideas. God's kingdom government is also an idea. An idea that comes from the bosom of the Creator himself. Of all the ideas that are existing under the sun, which are human-made, versus the idea of the main Creator, which idea would you take as more important? Definitely, God's kingdom government comes to light when we talk about big ideas, because God's kingdom government is the original idea, the original purpose for humanity. Let me come to one of the guys who once said something. One of the most people who have ever lived under the sun, who is regarded as the most wisest person. His name, King Solomon. He said, as a man thinks in his heart, so he is. The word heart does not refer to your chest. It refers to your mind. As you think in your mind, so that's what you are. You are as mature as your brain. Can a human being be more wiser than the Creator himself? Definitely, if you are reasonable, the answer will be totally no. God is wiser than man. So if you see a man pursuing a particular idea, if you see a man advocating for a particular idea, not wanting to advocate for God's original idea, it simply shows that that's the level of maturity that particular person is. There is no room for any other person who is not pursuing God's original idea to try and impose their particular ideas on other humans, because your idea is not original. We can only understand life to the degree of our perceptual or conceptual correctness. This simply means that you cannot understand life beyond the maturity of your brain, beyond the maturity of your revelation, beyond the maturity of your wisdom. Because life is not understood by knowledge. We can read as many books as we want. We can have as many degrees as we want. But if we don't have wisdom to discern, we are still toddlers. We have no maturity. We have no understanding of life. Because life is understood from the conceptual corner of your level of wisdom. The reason I'm saying all these things is because we want to come and tackle two major forms of life which are governing humanity today. We are highly governed by two major forms of life. The number one is religion. The number two is government. A lot of kinds of government, democracy, we have got authoritarian, republican, we have a monarchy, and we have got demigods forms of governments. We have got communism, socialism. When we come to religion, we have religions like Christianity. We have got religions such as Buddhism, Hinduism, Shinto. We have got those who don't even believe in God. I don't understand what they are trying to prove here, because you can tell me that you're an accident, you are existing as an accident under the sun. You are the worst guy. The Islamic people, the Muslim, all these are forms of religion. There is something that you may need to understand why we have got so many religions, why do we have so many governments. There is only one reason, and there is only one pursuit. Humanity is looking for a perfect country to live in. Simple. The reason we have too many religions, the reason we've got too many governments, forms of governments, is simply because humanity is looking for a perfect country to live in. Is it possible for humanity to have a perfect country, a fully fulfilled life, a perfect life, without all these anxieties that we are facing, without corruptions, without wars, without protests? A world perfect. Is it possible to have such kind of a government? Is it possible to have such kind of a country, a world? Yes, it is possible. But today we do not have it for certain reasons. Now let's get into our story. Why God's kingdom government is the ultimate one. He created a man in his own image. And having created a man in his own image, he said, have dominion over the earth and all that is upon it. Subdue over it, have authority. That is to say, when the Creator created humanity, he never wanted originally another human to subdue another human, but he simply wanted humans whom he had created to subdue or to have authority over the other creations, like the waters of the sea, the vegetation of the land, the birds of the air, the fish of the sea. Those are the areas where God commanded a human to subdue and have authority over. In this sense, you can see clearly that humans, or we as humans, we have authority like the Creator himself. So he also gave unto us the same authority to be able to command and speak out that which we want to exist on the earth. However, it is terrible and most unfortunate today that the way we are using our authority is abusive. Why? Because you can see today we've got wars, we've got protests now and again. Why? It is simply because there is a tendency among other humans to have authority and subdue other humans, which the Creator never intended to happen. That's where the whole issue boils down. And that's why we are saying today God's kingdom government is the best form of governance. Why is it that previously I said all governments, all forms of religions are nothing but simply a search for a perfect country? Why is it that you are changing governments each and every day? Why is it that you are changing your religion each and every day? Simply because the previous religion had no satisfaction to the yearning of your heart. Simply because the previous government had no satisfaction to the desires or the yearning or the searches of your heart. That is why you are changing them every day. There is this story told of a woman who was looking for a treasure. It is said that the woman went around to the properties of her parents that had been burnt down, but she was told that in that property that has been burnt down, there was a very precious treasure. So the woman went and began the search, and after searching, it so happened that she finally found that which she was looking for, the treasure left for her by her parents. And when this happened, she stopped the search. Then she began to establish her life. The reason she stopped the search is simply because she found the satisfaction to her desires. She found fulfillment in her life. The reason we have so many governments, so many religions, is because we are confused. We are looking for that which is perfect. When the Creator created a human, He placed him in the garden. The garden is called Eden. That the literal meaning of this word means the Creator's presence. The Creator's presence. We need nothing but the presence of the Creator. Why am I saying we need the presence of the Creator? One day, the created sinned against the Creator. The created broke the rules of the garden, which was not to eat the tree of life. So when the created ate the tree of life, of knowledge of good and evil, the created sinned against the Creator and was cast out of the garden. When this created was cast out of the garden, it is said that a wall was put between the garden and the created, the human beings, to guard with angels so that this person will not get back to the garden. So this clearly shows that we lost nothing but a country. We lost nothing but the presence of the Creator. The reason we have all these behaviors that we are having, the reason we have all this chaos in the world that we are having, all these anxieties, all these problems, is because we are yearning to go back home. We are yearning to go back to the presence. We are yearning for a country. The solution to a human being is not religion, is not human-made government. Why? Because you lost God's government. God's government is what you need. God's kingdom country, that's what you need, because you are a citizen of a particular country somewhere called heaven, called Eden, the presence of the Creator. To make it very clear, let me define religion. What is a religion? A religion is defined as a belief in a supernatural power or powers, in a supernatural being, which is to say, it being called supernatural simply means that it is not compared to you. It's an authority higher than your authority, an authority higher than human beings. You cannot find fulfillment, you cannot find satisfaction in life by believing only, but you need His presence. You need to dwell, you need to live in the country of the supernatural being for you to have your life fulfilled. For example, I have this dream. I want a private jet. Can I live the lifestyle of somebody who owns a private jet by believing in a private jet alone? No. I need to have the money to buy the private jet so that I live the life of a person who owns a private jet, isn't it? So you cannot tell me that you can get satisfaction, you can find life fulfillment by simply believing in a supernatural being. You don't need to believe in a supernatural being. You need to live in the presence of the supernatural being. You need to live in the country of the supernatural being. You need the country of God. Religion is simply a belief, a conviction, which is not that necessary, because you continue believing, but you won't have that which you are looking for, simply because you are not in the presence, you are not inside the country. In a kingdom of God, you are a citizen. You are not a religious person. You are not simply a believer. You are a citizen. So we are yearning for a kingdom. The solution to humankind, the perfect form of governance, is God's kingdom. Once you find God's kingdom, you find fulfillment. You find the life that you are looking for. You forget all the forms of religions that you have been hearing about. You forget all the forms of government that you have been hearing about, and you begin to live a life which focuses on the Creator and no other person. You don't believe in other people. You put and believe and live in the presence of the Creator. The manufacturer of the phone manufactured a phone and put it in a box. Having put it in the box, that is packaging, and they put another paper there called a manual that accompanies the phone. This manual explains on how to use the phone. There is one important instruction that is there. They say, before you use this phone, read me. When you begin to read, the phone says, in case of fault on the phone, do not give it to another dealer for repair, except one who is satisfied by Apple, one who is satisfied by Nokia. Here comes the problem. You were created by the Creator, the manufacturer of human beings. He has manufactured you. It is most unfortunate that for your health, you go to an unsatisfied dealer. It is most unfortunate that for your governance, you go to an unsatisfied dealer. It is most unfortunate that for your spirituality, you go to the unsatisfied dealer. That is the problem. You need to return it to the satisfied dealer, the manufacturer. So if you simply know that you need to take your life back to the manufacturer, you don't need all these religions. Buddhism, Hinduism, Shinto, Christianity. You don't need all this. You need a kingdom. Why did I mention Christianity? Somebody's getting surprised. Let me come to you. Christianity is a religion and it does not satisfy the hunger, the desire of a man. You need God's kingdom. It is most unfortunate that most of the Christians, they have a misunderstanding of the person whom they follow. They follow Jesus, but Jesus was never a Christian. So why should you call yourself a Christian when you follow Jesus? Who Jesus was not a Christian. And Jesus never preached a religion. A religion. He simply preached one thing: the kingdom of heaven, the country of heaven, the Eden that was lost. Simple. You don't need Christianity. You do not need Muslim. You do not need Buddhism. You need a country. Conclusion. You don't need a government made by human beings. You need a government a kingdom of heaven, a country of heaven, His presence, made by the Creator Himself. This is the only form of life that satisfies your desire, your search. You cannot live in a belief. You can simply believe in something, but you cannot live in it. But you need the satisfaction by living in it. So you need a country. Thank you very much for watching this. If it is helpful for you, don't forget to share, subscribe, like. Let's have a conversation. Let me hear what you are thinking. Comment in the section below. And together, let's build the country that we need. Love you.